Hey guys, Megan's here again. Welcome to Satisfaction in the Kitchen. It's getting close to Super Bowl time, and you know what that means. Lots of snacks, lots of food, lots of parties. And so here's two ways that I made Little Smokies that I'm going to show you for your next Super Bowl party. To get started, you're going to need the Little Smokies. You're going to need some barbecue sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, some Old Bay, some cayenne, and I also ended up using some soy sauce. And yeah, so let's go ahead and let's put it all together in our slow cooker pot. So put your Smokies in the slow cooker pot. Just layer them all in there, and then start adding some barbecue sauce. And I used the whole bottle, but that depends on the size of your slow cooker and the size of your bottle. So you might need to add more than a bottle, you might need to add less than a bottle. Now, I did add more Worcestershire sauce than this. I don't know why I showed this, but here's some Old Bay. I also put in some cayenne pepper because I like to kick it up. And I ended up putting soy sauce in here, like I said before. I didn't show it on camera. But then I stirred it all around, and depending on the size of your slow cooker and depending on how many Smokies you have, you may need to add more liquid, which I ended up doing. I know this doesn't look like enough liquid, so I did add more barbecue sauce. I did add more Worcestershire and soy sauce, and so you're going to want to stir it all around and make sure that it's covered and that your slow cooker is filled at least halfway up for it to cook evenly. So let's stick it in the slow cooker. And I did it for about 4.5 hours before I took the lid off on low, before I took the lid off and tested one of the Smokies. It needed just a little bit longer, so about 45 minutes to an hour later, which was 5.5 hours total cook time. This is how they came out. They look nice and plump and delicious, and I stuck it on warm while we had our fill, but I served it up with some mashed potatoes so that it would be more of a meal. And there you go. That's one way to cook our Little Smokies. Let me show you a different way too. This one's good too. You're going to need some bacon cut into strips. You may need longer strips if you actually want to be able to wrap each Smoky in the bacon fully. But here you need some bacon pieces. You're going to need 16 of them. You also need a container of crescent dough and 16 Little Smokies. Let me show you how this one is going to be made. You're going to take your bacon and you are going to, in batches if you need to, fry up the bacon in your cast iron skillet or your regular skillet, or if you'd rather do it in the microwave or in the oven. Anyway, you're going to need to cook it till it's not quite done. You need it to be just that little bit underdone so it cooks the rest of the way in the crescent dough. But you don't want it to be raw when you stick it in, because then it really won't be done. So anyway, this would be a good time also to set your oven for 375 degrees and just fry up your bacon. Make sure you drain it good so that your crescent dough isn't soggy. There you go, 375 degrees. Now that your bacon is done, you're going to take your crescent dough and you're going to unroll it so that you can start to wrap up your Smokies. Now, with every time I get crescent dough, I don't know how it is with you guys, but it's always broken, at least in certain places. But that's easily fixable. All you have to do is just take the dough that's broken and just piece it back together. Just push it together with your fingers, and it's so easy to repair the dough when it's like that because it's nice and sticky together. So anyway, repair any pieces, and then you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut it in about half width. And you may not get a perfect width every time, but it's fine because remember, it pieces together really nicely. So you're going to take your triangle, and then you're going to grab yourself a Little Smoky, like that. Then you're going to grab one of your bacon pieces, and you're gonna put it on the fat end of your triangle of crescent dough. Roll it on up nicely, and then you'll get a little smokie in a blanket. Now, sometimes when you are rolling up your smokies in the dough, you may not cover it completely after you're done rolling it up, and that's fine. Just take a piece of the extra dough and you can go ahead and break a piece off. Go ahead and just attach it there. When it cooks, it all puffs up and it's cool. So do that for all 16 of them, and then go ahead and foil line your baking pan, because otherwise they're very sticky to the baking pan for some reason for me. So I like to foil line it, easy cleanup, you don't have to worry about it. So go ahead and put them at least far enough apart so that they're not going to be able to touch once they poof up and puff out, because it will poof a little bit. So go ahead and make sure that your pan is all covered with your smokies. Like I said, make sure they're not going to touch when they poof out. You're going to stick them in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes. Just keep checking, make sure they don't burn. This is what they'll look like after about 15 minutes. This is what mine looked like. They look really good, and they are really good. So anyway, go ahead and let them cool for just a minute before you go ahead and transfer them onto your serving plate. Then you can serve them with your favorite dipping sauces: ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauce, honey mustard, hot sauce, whatever your heart desires. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy your Super Bowl parties, and see y'all next time. Bye-bye.